Welcome to Keyforge Premier League weekly, but not really. This is actually going to be a new thing that I'm doing, and this is again all related to the Keyforge Premier League. But in this case, it's kind of opposite. This is what is going to be my recreational stream and my recreational VOD because I am playing in a league called. Let me show you. First of all, I'm fifth playing at Keyforge, just so you know. That's me. That's me in my own entity. But what I wanted to let you guys know is that I'm playing in the Ancient Bear Republic League, and look at that flag with the cool ancient bear chasing the star, because they're based out of California, and they were gracious enough to put me on a team. And the way the ABR works is basically there's captains, and the captains pick from the pool of people who sign up to play, and then you get teams. And this season we have a team of 10, and the first week is going on right now, and our team had a 700 SAS cap. So 10 people had to divide 700 SAS and stuff. And so we drew to play against Team Siaka this week, and which I don't remember their names, but I'll have somebody tell you really quickly what their name is in a second. But I brought in with me the person I'm going to be playing. So welcome aboard, Zach Armstrong.
Thanks, Jupiter. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so what we decided to do for this stream is we decided that it would be really cool to give you guys perspective on how Keyforge is played, right? We want this to be fun for everybody, so for newer players and stuff like that, we'll show you what kind of goes down into the preparation and stuff. Me and Zach both know what we're playing against. I'm sorry about the background, but Harlan's being crazy loud, but can't stop him. He's got that energy. We wanted you guys to kind of get an idea of what exactly goes into preparation for a league. So here on the screen, because Zach can't see what I'm doing, is the two decks that we're going to be playing. He is playing the Rainy of Bombagam, and I'm playing Who the Feckless. And in the ABR, we have these things called Premier matches. It just so happens that me and Zach were the Premier match for the first week. So this is kind of cool. But so you can see here that we both were on the high end of the SAS score for our team. I was the highest on my team. I'm pretty sure you were the highest on yours as well, Zach?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, okay, so we're both sitting at 82 SAS. But let's take a look at the decks and how they kind of line up. I'll talk about Who first. Who is basically an all-around, just a very balanced deck. It makes a lot of amber, and it does lots of push-pull kind of dynamics with the routine jobs, obviously. And it has a certain value to it because it has outs in every single house. And that's an important aspect to me in a tournament game. It's I want to make sure I have amber control. I want to make sure I have some board control. I want to make sure usually that I have more raw amber than I do in this deck. But in this deck, because of the amount of pull I have back from the routine jobs in the Shadows house, I didn't feel I needed as much raw amber. And my biggest concern was that if I ran into a deck that had just as much speed as me and was able to generate key cheats, that was my biggest fear. If a lot of the new decks and stuff like that destroy this deck, they're really good against it. But I was sort of fortunate in the fact that I played another Coda deck because that kind of puts it onto an even kind of feel there. So Zach can tell you a little bit more about his deck. I've studied against it and I know where my lines are, but this is a tight line, and I think it's very he's gonna have to work a little bit to get to beat me 2 out of 3, but it's not everything is possible in Keyforge. It really depends on how you draw, right? So,
Zach, that's very true.
Zach, tell me what you think about the matchup.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we've both are good enough players that we see the lines in here, and I think Who certainly has the advantage here. And if the whoever's watching, listening has Randy of Bombagam up, of course you'll notice Triple Control of the Week, Restoring Guntis, and if you're keen-eyed, you'll also notice Ember Imp, and then ways to protect, that disruption, that shadow self, on which you can get armor with, with Protect the Weak, Bulwark, anything like that. So there's a couple of ways to, if I can drop the Guntis, pick a house that the hand is pretty full of, and then control the whatever is on the board, that's a pretty good lockout, even if they break out of it later. However, what I look for in an Archon list when I'm sitting down with Rani is I look for how can they get rid of my Restoring Guntis. And of course, if you looked at Hugh the Feckless, there are multiple ways in every house on top of the quadruple routine jobs and other things. Double gateway to dis. Oubliette is the biggest is the biggest threat there, because that skips the arise. Mimicry can hit some of my stuff.
And with
cooperative hunting.
And with the double Witch of the Eye mimicry, like I can actually lock him out of his own stuff with the control of the weeks. So he's like my deck is very like anti his deck. His deck is amazing too. Like he has a great deck. Normally like there's a lot of really good matchups for this deck, but like this is kind of like we didn't know what we were fighting, so we couldn't just pick a deck to kind of shape towards the fight. So I just got lucky that I think that this deck is good, but we'll see, because like I did play a bunch against, and I did lose 3 games total practicing, so it can lose. Like I know the routes. And another thing that is interesting in your deck too, with Rainy, is that Annihilation Ritual is a weird card. And, and it's like I don't think I will see it played in this matchup, but who knows? I'm not going to have Zach tell me if he plays it or not. But that card, that like the idea of him trying to lock me out with Ristriguntus is like the biggest, like the very narrow path he has to win, and and the Annihilation Ritual is like really counterproductive because of the amount of removal I have, and so like I don't foresee the Annihilation Ritual being good in this matchup. So that's another thing too. But in other matchups, I think Annihilation Ritual might be absolutely fine. But I think that's probably the weakest card in his deck at this point for me anyway. I think his Tentacus is actually pretty crucial as well, and I think that his another card he didn't mention was the Armageddon Cloak. I do have both lists up.
Oh yes,
can see that.
Yes.
And the cloak put on Restriguntus is pretty good, or the cloak put on like an Ember Imp or something could be really disruptive. And then he also has like these really neat like burst type combos with like Glorious Few, and he can get his spikes up, and he has the Doorstep, which is always good to bring me back down from my rush as well. And then he has really good chances with the Drumble, Arise, Drumble, Restriguntus kind of stuff going on. So I don't know, like he does have there are paths to victory, but like in most of the science here, like I would say that like my deck, who probably wins like 80%, when 2 good people are piloting. But
I'd say that's fair. I'd say that's fair.
It's kind of made up and not really proven, but I'm thinking I played your deck in this matchup like probably like 20 to 30 times, I would say, and like I only lost 3 games total.
Sure.
Like some of them are runaways, and then like I know when I'm in bad shape, and then when I'm in bad shape, it really just depends on. I'm assuming Zach is going to pilot it better than anybody I practiced against, because it's Zach's deck. But I feel like sometimes I got away with something in a couple of games, because like I think that maybe they didn't do or think the way that you would, because you have the reps with it, right? And that's another thing. That's another thing that goes good with these decks, is that you have to have your reps in. So with Who, I had to put in a bunch of work this week, and it was hard until they said you can actually play the matchup, because like I ended up playing a bunch of like MM decks, and I was going like, man, this deck is horrible. Like I feel like I'm gonna get my butt kicked. But
yeah, I should have packed my top Mass Mutation deck that's on the level with Rani, but
yeah, like Mass Mutations is legit. Like it's a really good set. So all right.
Yeah. The one thing I'll mention about Rani, sometimes her secret sauce is a good master plan play or a good Snecklifter play. However, Who doesn't have anything that's actually useful for Snecklifter to steal, and you've got 2 Grasping Vines, which just bounce the master plan and discard the card under it. So I've sometimes won. I will sometimes win games on simply a bad artifact play by my opponent, a transporter platform, or even in a recent game in the competitive queue, a spectral tunneler, where I just kept giving my Shadows creature, reap, draw 1 card, and I just rode Shadows for the rest of the game. Because as soon as this deck gets any draw via whatever Snecklifter steals, then all of a sudden her weaknesses are started to getting padded out. So yeah, not a lot of things for me to not a lot of things for the secret sauce to attack with Who here. So yeah, I would call it maybe 2-1 for Hugh here, but I'll certainly be putting in the effort to try to flip it.
Yeah, it's like I'm not saying like I really expect this to be fun games, and I'm not.
Oh, they're going to be good.
Player.
Yes.
I'm not a perfect player either. I'm more of a commentator, so like I do make mistakes, plenty of them. I'm sure you guys will get to witness them all since you'll see my hand and all. You won't see his hand, but you'll see him playing. So like this is his deck list. Like I said, this is Rainey. This is who. You can see them side by side. Very similar in stats, but very different in execution. This is what makes Keyforge absolutely amazing, as far as like the small tweaks and the small things that go along with it. So I'm excited to play Zach. Zach's a Keyforge friend, I would say. Like I don't know him in person and stuff like that, but he's always had a great reputation. I think we've always been civil to each other. But before we get playing, this is the secret sauce right here. See this? I got popcorn. If he doesn't have his popcorn, I win instantly.
You know, that's true. That's true. That's my first unforced error there, is not having my popcorn.
Uh-oh. That might be the key to victory right there. Right there. See that tub of popcorn? That's the key to victory.
Little did I know. Little did I know.
All right, so let's get out of the. I'm gonna close out these screens so that we can get into the actual the games now. Do you want to create, or do you want me to create them?
I'll create real quick.
Okay. So, nothing but the best of luck. My team has already put all the weight of the world on me anyway. They're like, if you win, we win this week. I'm like, oh great.
Oh nice.
No pressure.
Right.
But we have a pretty fun team. Like you guys have a decent team too. You have a Scrouner on your team. He's a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Zach.
Yeah, Scrouner's great.
Siaka's good. I forgot who else was on your team. But I remember looking at your team list and I was like, yeah, you're pretty good. But I didn't know half the people on my list until I actually talked to them, and I went, oh, I know who you are. Because I don't actually like. Sometimes getting people to what's the password? Where did you make it?
ABR.
ABR. Okay.
And it appears I have been kicked back to the login screen. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh.
Bad Jojo.
Yeah, it's kicking me back out to the login screen for some reason here. But it says I'm logged in.
I see you in game.
Let me see if it... Okay. There we go. It wanted me to log in again for some reason. There we are.
That's fair. All right, so this is Who the Feckless versus the Rainy of Bombagom. I hope you guys enjoy the banter, but we're going to kind of get a little bit serious now and try to figure out how to win these games, because like I said, he's a good player, so I know that I'm in for some headaches. And,
just a little bit serious though, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But I got my popcorn for whenever I get in trouble. I'll take another piece. All right. All right. So good luck, Zach, and
you too.
Feel free to say whatever you want. I don't care.
Awesome.
All right. So you can see my starting 7. So I do have to go first. So for me, like I'll speak out loud about my strategy. But my strategy is basically what I'm saying here is that like I really don't want a starting hand that I'm trapped with only one out to his Restrictaguntis, because the way he beats me easily is a high roll on the Restrictaguntis. So like if I don't see 2 answers to his Restrictaguntis play or something that gets towards that Restrictaguntis play, I usually don't want to keep that hand. So that is one thing I will say. So I will take my mulligan. All right, and I will apply pressure. So is it 40 minutes per round? Like as like it ends at 40 and then we have 40 for game 2? Like is that how this is for league?
Oh yeah, I think it was 120 total. They said.
Okay, so like if it ends 40 in the first game, then like it just goes into the next 40, or?
Yeah, I guess because I don't think these will take 40 minutes. So if we end sooner, like I really don't think it'll really end up during.
I forgot to ask that question. My first ever ABR game, folks. I'm bringing Baby Yoda into the mix. You can't lose with Baby Yoda.
Nice. I obviously don't like pitching a rise there, but I mulliganed into it, and
yeah,
Randy does like to hold cards sometimes, but a first turn rise, not so much.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm only seeing Schuler on the board.
Yeah. Baby Yoda, wise. All right, I gotta stop playing games now. I'll put on my Star Wars hat. All right, so there's the Ember Imp. That card is a pile of annoyance.
It is. It is a pile of annoyance.
Discard True. Go ahead and get my value.
Now, that's a situation I am not totally upset to see. Is you having to, drop a gateway on that, just because both of our decks are old school Coda, so they without logo, so they don't have a ton of speed inherent. So I'm happy whenever you drop a gateway on something like that.
Yep. But at the same time, the reason I dropped the gateway there is because I wanted to be able to make sure he doesn't run away with Amber like early on. There's Begone is a key card in this matchup too. That's really good.
Yeah.
But both of us are off to somewhat of a slow start.
I feel like Halicor is a good kind of sleeper hit in your deck.
Yeah, he's really nice. Like giving skirmish to your creatures on your caps is really is strong. It allows for one-way damage. Umbras, he has 3 Umbras in his deck, which are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to take out, of course, but with 3 of them, if they survive, I can really turn up the Amber control. If the person doesn't prioritize taking them out. Which I would not be saying this to a player of a lower caliber, but these are things you already know.
Yeah. All right, so here I have a choice with my lights out. Like I can basically take out 2 Umbras, which would be something some people might think is better, but here it's like I'm going for tempo, so I'm going to take 1 of each house because it slows them down just a little bit more, and that seems to be like a better line of play. Then I play the Silvertooth, and I basically just reap to get my Amber count because I am slowly building Amber, and eventually he's going to have to make a play on that. But the biggest tip in these games is going to be my routine jobs. Like they're very hard for him to get rid of.
Oh yeah. I basically I have no recourse against them except if I can stay at 0 Amber and just advance my board state. When you still have them, that's really the only choice I can make against them. Otherwise, I just take them and hope I can make that Amber up elsewhere.
Yeah, see, and now he's kind of forced me into a predicament here where I have to use my second gateway, which is good for him.
Yes.
And then I'll just use that to pump that back to me.
Oh, yep. Nice clear.
Yeah, just balance out the game a little bit.
Yep.
Now, I know that his Arise is gone, so I know that when his Restrict Aguntis, if it does come into play and he starts controlling the weak, I need to be able to get back into Dis, because he's probably going to try to lock me in Dis knowing that both of those are gone, so I have to always keep Dis creatures ready. And then I have to also, have the option to have ways to clear still in the other houses, which he knows I still have Oubliette, and I still have my cooperative hunting, which is a pretty easy hit.
Yep.
I'd say
it was good you hadn't played the gateway there because triple Umbra. People are like, oh, Umbra dies so quickly, but triple of them and a Shadow Self with a Silent Knife is
yeah, they make a lot of value.
Ride that
quickly.
Yeah, you can ride that for a while.
All right, so now here what I can do is, because I'm sort of scared of the Restrict Aguntis, but not totally scared of the Restrict Aguntis, is make him deal with this Witch, because now he can't ignore the Witch. If he ignores the Witch, he gets into a bad juju.
Yes, this is very true. This is very true. I have to say, Mushroom Man, low-key, one of my favorite cards. It's just simple, fun. It's huge. It's huge at the beginning. It's a fun card.
He's a forgotten about card.
Oh yeah, he's not good. He's just fun. He's a fun guy if you get to know him.
Fun guy. That's his flavor text for you guys.
Oh yeah, Eldest Bear. Eldest Bear said that. Fortunately, we do have a decent answer. Yeah. So Bulwark is going to protect Tentacus, and then also our Staunch Knight, and fortunately we have an Inspiration.
Yeah,
to go ahead and take that out without taking any damage.
Yeah, that's strong. I like
Yeah,
it.
so I get to move my hand along a little bit while getting rid of the Witch of the Eye. And now both of them are in the discard pile. Haven't seen the Mimicry, though.
And he did put the Arise in early, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, might have been a reason to hold that, but.
No, you're fine.
And that's the thing with Mimicry, right? Like, if I hold that, I've chained myself. We're on turn 8, right? So I had that in my opening hand. That would have been 8 chains just because I'm scared of what he would do with it. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call.
And these are the calls you get with repetitions. Like, you got to learn.
Mm-hmm. It is true. Let's see here. All right, let's go this. Take care of my handy dandy Amber. Now, hilariously, I'm actually not going to play many cards this turn, but I want to take the chance to take that out while I can. There are some situations I might honestly just keep playing through an Ember Imp because it's not like I'm maybe not playing more than 2 cards, but
you get rid of Ember Imp for future turns at times too, because it's just so oppressive. Like, and if you get to a situation where you want to go into another house and you're stuck, and you didn't, even if you could play 2 cards and ignore it, like it could be pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this feels like a trap.
That's most turns playing against Randy. This feels like a trap.
Well, because most of the time it is. So he's gonna get to his key most likely. My decisions here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know if that's right, but that's going to be the play. And I'm going to continue to just keep this around, because that makes him have to clear that if he wants to try to get his Restriguntus in play.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
It's really just a big game of Restriguntus tag.
It is. It is.
Good news for me is that he only has 1 control of the week left, so that's big on me. Like, as happy as he is to see my gateways go, I'm very happy to see his control of the weeks go.
Mm-hmm. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
This. Drop him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now I need a bigger value turn, because it's getting to that point where I can't allow too much to run away from me. So
Yeah,
I have to do things that are a tad bit risque. That Dust Damp is too much of a problem right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's where I like seeing that oubliette happen, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, but of course, like, I don't feel ahead because you've still got those three routine jobs left, with 6 in hand, 11 in draw pile. So I'm mostly fortunate that they haven't hit yet.
Yeah, like, that's like the key to that. Like I said, like, if I draw my routine jobs, this game is very tilted. If I draw them in my later half, like, then usually it gets a little bit closer.
Yes.
But they do change the game quickly.
Yes, they really do. They really do. Let's see. You played 3 cards last turn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there is a play here. Yep. Okay. Yes. So
Commentators playing will commentate for you while we play. See?
Right. Can't commentate too much.
Yeah.
Like, what are my plans? Although I'm pretty confident in this plan so far.
Did he play?
Yeah. So. I know I'm going to.
Another big card for him is that lights out with the Troubadour. Like once the lights out is out
Mm.
of the way, I can commit my Troubadour to the board like more readily. So like but I had Troubadour early, so I had to pitch him because if not he would have chained me for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So but
So yeah.
Troubadour is a double-edged sword because he can be really good in decks that can't bounce him, but in decks that can bounce him, they can get really bad. So there's his third control of the week. But he is at the end of his deck, so which means the likeliness of his Restrigantus is getting higher and higher, so
This is true.
could be dangerous. The Tentacus is annoying as well. But I feel like I have no choice but to do this because it's like somebody told me I had to.
I'm not the one calling you weak. It's the deck doing that. Oh, charette. I was hoping to forge so I could avoid those.
Yeah. And so I take out the Tentacus here because it's going to do me damage in the future. So
Mhm.
I'm getting it out of the way. Plus, it's also a big enough creature that, like, if he was to want to play his Restrictagontis, he would use it to kill off my smaller creatures and get back an advantage to where he could lock me into, like, decent now that the gateways are gone or whatever. I have to have creatures that can fight the Restrictagontis because it is not elusive, so it's a little bit easier to kill as long as I can get to it.
Mhm.
For those people out there.
Let's see.
There's the bulwark, which thickens up the Restrictagontes. Bulwark with the protect the weak, so now he's a taunty bulwark.
Mhm.
So the good news is like as long as I stay within like all three of my houses can stay somewhat balanced on the board, and I know I can
Mhm.
get to that, then I can still get to the Restrictagontes like at some point. But the key here now is not getting trapped like to where I can't get out of my houses.
Right.
So with that said, we're going to put a real threat on the board, which it was never a threat
Mm.
with the Niffle Ape.
Oh, yep. Niffle-ape.
Another scary, like good, like not overly thought about card.
Yes, I totally agree.
Then we're gonna play this just for value. Get myself to 6 because I can't really do much to stop him at this point, and now I have to give him his second key.
All right, let's see here. What do we do with this turn?
So when the decks get this low in counting as well, it's like it's very important for you to be looking through your opponent's discard pile and realizing what they have
Mhm.
left in their game. And on the computer, it's a lot easier than it is in real life because in the computer you could scroll over their card, you can look at your draw pile, like there's a lot of like easy shortcuts. But in real life, like these are things you have to like be able to memorize and put to the brain. That's why like real competitive stuff is a lot harder, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
TCO's automation can make you a very lazy player, which I'm the epitome of lazy player, so.
We're gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
Dirty, dirty.
And what to put under the master plan? Because we have seen just one grasping vines. So what do we put? But I'm also going to check. So
Mm-hmm.
we go to check, and we got rid of the. We've already seen the poltergeist, and we've already gotten rid of the ritual of balance. But there is mimicry, but I don't think mimicry So whatever I put in here, I'd want to just use next turn. All right, check for my final key, sir.
I see. All right, so like I got a lot of options at this point because I know what the last 5 cards in my deck are. I know what's in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I do know I have to take him off of this key. So
Yeah.
to do so, let's get some value out of this bait and switch. It's
Mm-hmm.
not great. We're gonna start to bleed some of these routine jobs. The Drumble is on the board, so that's a plus for me too, because I know that
Yeah, definitely.
I can be greedy here. I did get rid of the Tentacus earlier, so I will go ahead and take that last 3, put him
Yep.
way behind Spike,
Yep.
and then use the hammer, hit the Protectrix, which is a pretty good hit.
Yeah. Not. Yeah.
Then I'll draw. Yeah.
So I will, in a very friendly manner, say that's exactly what I wanted you to do because I'm holding doorstep.
Hmm.
Um,
But I gotta take my chances.
yeah, yeah. So that's why. That's why I went shadows the previous turn,
Hmm.
so that I could keep you off and then go up to 6 to put you over into shadows, so you would steal,
Hmm.
most of my stuff, so I can get maximum doorstep value here.
Right.
So I'll go Sanctum.
But it's also taking 6 off of you in response to his legwork.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
is like he's gonna play his doorstep to bring me back down to 5, and that's fine for me because I was not dumb enough to play my 4th routine job because I know there's still cards
Right.
in my deck. So like I do have my own out to get my amber back and be able to push back into him. So
Yeah.
like
Yes. So yeah. It was the best I could do against a
mhm.
4 routine job deck. Certainly. Certainly.
Yeah. And we're at the end of the deck, so I know his Restrict the Guntus is in his hand. I know the Doorstep is in his hand. I know that he still has his Glorious Few, so like being lopsided is really bad for me now to get more creatures than him, basically. So there's a lot of cards in play now that like are in my head that I'm like going, I know they're there. I just need to see them, right? So, but I kind of expected there to be a doorstep, but at the same time, if he didn't have one, I could punish him. So that's like
Mm-hmm.
you have to make them have cards sometimes.
See, we'll do this for Untamed.
Tamed. Hmm.
Let's see here. Gonna pitch that.
Yeah.
And then really just a few choices to make left in the turn here. We're gonna pop the master plan, drop the Guntus.
Mhm.
We're gonna count some cards. Knowing that the last routine job is, of course, a threat.
And the naughty.
Yes, and naughty.
And subtle maul. To be honest, like that card sucks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Um, well, yeah. I mean, whatever house I pick, the other one that you do get to place is not going to be a great time for me. But you've got a bit more active on the board, so we are gonna pick shadows,
Mhm.
and then go ahead and drop the Armageddon cloak onto him.
Mhm.
We will go ahead and reap there. Not quite getting to check, but
Mhm. All right, so we're gonna go here. I'll read these stun counters because they're important. And we're gonna play this ritual.
mm-hmm.
And then we're going
Yeah,
to
ritual is a good card in this matchup too.
we're gonna play these to bounce. So we'll play ritual again.
Nice.
And we're going to use cooperative hunting. Oops, I forgot that they had armor. Oh well. That was a mistake, and that's what you pay for. But anyway. Alright, cool. End turn.
All right, let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to go. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason not to try to close this out here if I can, because I just flipped my discard pile. Yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go dis. Reap there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Drop a Schuler. Drop an Ember Imp. And then control the weak. Oop. Actually, no, I don't want to end my turn. Let's go ahead and just do that.
And he put me in Untamed, which is a good house to be in, I guess.
Oh yeah, check it 9, of course. There.
Yeah, you should have it. Yeah, he has it. So as you see, he did well, and the routine jobs came way too late.
Yes, yeah, that helped me a
And
lot.
my mimicry and my control of the week were my last 2 cards in my deck. So
yeah, that really helped having those come late.
That was a good match. Yep. So
Woo!
We'll rematch and we'll go to game 2. Zach up 1-0.
My goodness.
I'll go first. And start game. Keep this hand. Alright, let's see if the game looks different this time.
Flaxseed open is nice.
Yeah, it's 2 free amber for playing a creature. There's a glorious few for the one probably trying to just get value off it.
Yep, and a 4-card sanctum there, which was nice.
Yeah.
Not maximum value for the glorious few and the blinding light, but
well, I'm gonna take my value with the this card as I can get it, because I know it's gonna be tricky. It's like I felt like I passed all my my pre-bosses, but now I'm in super boss mode against Zach, playing the deck that he loves most. Alright, so this will put me in shadows, which is fine. Because we'll set a tempo play here. And we'll take one from him with the naughty. We'll call that a day.
Well, I do not like that you drew into that lights out, but that's a good move.
I had it.
Nice. Good to hold.
Like I told you, I kept 7 cards. That means I have ways to to deal with stuff. That is the goal. So he's baiting me with his Sanctum, because his Sanctum is big. But he only has 3 Sanctum creatures, so there's only so much value he can pull out of Sanctum as well. That's something else I didn't mention in the pregame. So, like, his commitment to Sanctum is usually a utility play to set up for his other stuff. So
this is true.
The Sanctum itself is not so scary to me, so we won't let it be. Alright, I'm going to do that. And normally I wouldn't push this Poltergeist, but because it puts me to check, I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will enter.
Let's see here.
Key Forge fun. Harlan is all about schoolwork right now. He's enjoying it. Alright, so
That's good.
He goes back to 5.
Oh, yep.
I have to get rid of that dagger. That dagger's too much, so I will do that. We'll end turn. Ooh, here comes the dish turn.
It's not quite as exciting as I want it to be. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that.
No tips. I take the steal there because it's the easiest thing to do.
Yep. Let's see. What is our play here? We go dis there, steal there. Get a Tentacus on the board.
So that's kind of good news. That's kind of good news because having a restricted Guntus where the Ember Imp is way worse for me than anything else.
True. Yes, yeah. If I could swap that out, I would. But Ember Imp's the most I can push on you for now.
Yeah. So. Alright, I think this is a good value for this first one. We're going to take it. Before I do that, let me reap. So I'll go ahead and take this value while I can and play my own Ember Imp. Mostly because he's already played most of his 5 drops. He has 1 5-drop left, which is good for fighting with the restricted Guntus, but it doesn't come in and kill instantly, so I have time to react to it. And he did play 2 of his controlled weeks already, so I have value there with this, like waiting for this gateway that I've had since like opening hand. It was a worthy chain because it took a lot of value off the board, and I am slightly ahead at this point. So
yeah. Oh, let's see.
And the most dangerous thing for him at this point is the fact that I have 2 routine jobs in my graveyard already. So every routine job from here forward is a chunk of change. 30. All right. So there's the master plan. All right.
Not sure how masterful the master plan is, but it's hopefully step 3 profit works out. Go dis.
There's a rise. It's a good play. Usually he'd want to see that arise before the after the restricted Guntus has been on the board once, but here it's good value because he's falling farther behind. But
let's see. Doesn't feel great, but it's the best of many bad options.
Go into these. So his lights out is out of the way. So this is this is a value.
Nice. Yep. Nice.
And so this is value. I'll discard that because I don't really need it and I'd rather draw. Because I'm chained one, it's like that one extra card is very important versus the 2 Ember. That Niffle Ape being behind the True Brew is big for me because it lets me get to the Restricted Guntus regardless of what he does to it. So.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. What is the play? Do Sanctum.
This is my first competitive league I've played in like a year.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's good. Choices.
That's a good one. Reliquary is always good.
Yeah. It's I've been just for fun. They're not terribly competitive, of course, but I sometimes look up double epic quest decks. And there's one out there that has double Whispering Reliquary, which you're like, it's maybe a mid-tier card, but then you realize you can Whispering Reliquary itself back into your hand and then play it, and it's a free Sanctum card towards your epic quest. So
yeah, that's pretty
kind of a silly thing, but fun nonetheless.
So the best things about Keyforge are the fun.
You could do Heil the Merchant or Carlo Phantom. Scratch there too. All right.
Yeah, my favorite deck is basically a Grim Reminder Amber Lucian deck. So it's pretty fun. And it has like all the big Saurians, so like and all the steels, and has 2 libraries of Paleosaurus. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I miscounted there with the Ember Imp. I shouldn't have dropped the Reliquary. Shoot.
Mistakes happen.
Indeed. The question is, how do I proceed from here? Yeah, actually, it's sad, but we ditched these. I'm not as sad about the Protectrix as I am about the Armageddon Cloak. I really should have played that instead of the Reliquary.
Oh, yeah. So there's the first big oops of Jack. Like last round, I made the oops first, so this time he made the oops, and I have to make it work. All right. So.
Yeah, which all that would have done was just make Ember Imp slightly harder to get rid of, not terribly harder.
Alright. Now that we've taken care of that, let's take care of these. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And we will play him. And we're going to fight this and reap with this.
Yeah, I think this officially counts as on the ropes with that Ember Imp in there.
I just wanted to make sure that the Tentacus was within killing range for any of the houses I go into.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And that True Brew is a pretty sweet get. And at a risky, had a risky master plan there.
I was honestly expecting to see like the restricted Guntus hanging out to get him out with the cloak. When I saw the cloak, I tipped that maybe it was the Restriguntus, but
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it was a good, it was a good move, of course, because I could have begoned into the doorstep there.
Yeah. All right.
But I knew it was a long shot with how my board state was looking.
All right, so we're gonna do this. Seems like the best play for now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna use this to for the reaping. Rumble A.
Yeah, my only option. Definitely in the back foot here. I'll likely take this one with a nice untamed board to just clear things out. Because, I don't have... Yeah, I don't have any amber control from hand, so that's going to be game. Can do some... I have a full hand of shadows, which is kind of hilarious this late in the game. Oh, and of course that imps out. So yeah, that's game 1-1.
1-1, going to round 3, the way we expect it to go.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So both games had us both make critical errors that we were like, oh crap, and that was like the end of the game. So
yeah, and I don't know if the Ember Imp. It was a bad error with the playing Reliquary instead of the other thing. But I think you had enough of the board presence there that would have slowed you down by a creature. But both of your creatures had enough. Had enough power that you still could have taken that thing out. I don't think it would have.
Yeah.
I don't think it lost. It was a bad mistake. I don't think it would have quite lost me the game.
All right. I think the True Brew timeliness after the lights out was the big paw.
Yes.
That was like the momentum shift at that point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that was very strong. Oh man.
All right, game 3. Good luck. Best of luck.
Yes, you too. You too. These are good games, which we knew they would be.
All right. I'm gonna ignore it this time because I got a big guy.
Yeah, that was a big guy.
I'm gonna just shame it and turn there. I ate more popcorn in the second game. I think that's why I won.
Yes, that feels about right. Feels about right. Do Sanctum. Drop him. Protect the weak on 2.
Nice.
This one.
That's a great play.
Yeah, and let's see.
That makes that shadow self basically an Armageddon cloak at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, God, hiccups. Yeah, why not? Rar.
Yeah, it's Always good to get rid of the Shadow Self in this deck. Nice. Nice. Oh, woof. Don't like seeing Witch of the Eye against an empty board with Mimicry in the pile there. That is a bad situation.
I mean, you could control the weak me out of Untamed.
That would be great. You know, that typically requires having control the weak in hand.
It was kind of a joke too, because like once you run out of them, then it's like I get instant like control the weak if you don't deal with the witch. But
yep, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Important message for all new players and even intermediate players. But witches get stitches. Every witch in the game is usually pretty horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to see it drop across from you.
Yeah.
Even Darna started heavy lifting more than people expected her to in AOA. Not that she's much of a threat when she's on the board, but her playability.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, I had that combo played against me in testing.
It's pretty good.
It's true. That's a strong one.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Mimicry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a nice play.
Could be better. But I do want to burst my amber.
Mm-hmm.
Because now if he wants to doorstep, he has to go back into Sanctum, which is something he probably doesn't want to do at this point.
Right. No, that was a good play to basically say it was early enough in the game to basically say like, hey, if you've got your control, drop it on me and I'll deal with it. Because you're in a position to deal with it. But
All right. Then I just get evil because now I get to tempo a little bit more.
Yep. Yeah, this game is more how my testing went. The first one, of course, I didn't pull off a game that good in testing. The second game was, a good fight. This is about what usually happened, like with my the person piloting your deck is my friend Asher, who is a regular VT top cutter.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, at least doing it some degree of justice.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see.
This is one of our team decks, so I normally don't play it.
As
far as like my team, like the United Archons, so.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put in a bunch of reps just to get used to it because at first I didn't like it, but Z is captain, so he's like, "You're playing this."
Yeah,
I said,
that's a good one.
Sir.
Yeah, it's got so many options and cool lines of play and burst. It's just the 2 board wipes is just very good.
Yeah, this game is going to get some speed to it, and it's going to be not so nice.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that is the right call there. Oh, let's see. Who do I take out?
I still think Zach's deck is brilliant, by the way. I just think, like I said, this was an unfortunate matchup.
Yeah, yeah. Even really strong decks have bad matchups, in Keyforge, which is something I love. Like Hugh the Feckless, it has a great matchup against Rani. But like you mentioned, there's some mass mutation decks that
Destroy
have an
it.
easier time. And there's some decks Rani. Now Rani's just tough to play, and
Yeah.
if a deck has a good board presence, it's tough for Rani. And I really have to pick what cards to hold. But yeah, I've not been like, even me trying to control the board right now does nothing because all the threats have been coming from hand and combos I didn't have time to deal with. So it's but what I can do is at least.
Well, the key to this game for me was when I saw that I had a chance to burst or I could try to pace. Like I knew the Witch of the Eye wasn't going to last, like no matter how much I tried to protect it, because I don't have that kind of protection for it. So by using the inspiration to burst it back and get the Flaxia to get that extra amber push, it was very important to my my victory line.
Yeah, and see, in some possible world, this is be like, oh, maybe I could use this board to come back, but of course you've got the gateway. Yeah. And I think unless because I've just been now seeing my disc, so I don't have access to my Drumble. So brutally, that is game. I can do all sorts of silly things here. Sorry. Like let's lock you out of Saurian just for fun, and then push you into Untamed, and then Arise for Star Alliance, and then push you into Shadows.
Yep. So I got there before.
Just for a little flair. Just for a little flair at the end.
A great game, Zach. Thanks for talking with me and being part of my Chronicles series. But Keyforge is an amazing game, and as you can see, this matchup probably was not as fair as it should be. But this is part of how the league works. Like everybody doesn't know what they're playing against, and you just kind of pair off and play. So.
Yeah. Now, something I will say is that I learned after I selected and submitted the deck that they would be paired up by SAS, which may have changed my selection just because Rani has some good matchups, but anything like high rated in Coda, like she loves munching on Worlds Collide, funnily enough, mostly the artifacts and some other things, but
and another part of the league that kind of is interesting and kind of is good and bad, I guess. I think it's probably more for the good, but it's bad for the people who like their decks. Is that now that we've both played these decks, we can't play them again for the next 7 weeks. Right. So, unfortunately, Rainey did not bring the value that Zach wanted for him. I got lucky and drew like a decent matchup with who's really good though. Anything that has 4 routine jobs is going to be competitive.
Yeah, and that Untamed Suite and all those tools in Disc to just reset when you need to, Ember behind True when you can. And I will say I'm proud of that. I am proud of Randy for that first game where I did manage to take it there. Lost the next 2, of course, but was real proud of how Randy fired. And of course, you did have 2 critical cards in the bottom 2 cards of the deck, which didn't hurt.
Yeah, that's why I told everybody, I was like, the only way I lose a game with this, I think, is if I don't draw my routine jobs and my cards just pile to the bottom. And it happened twice in testing. One time I just punted, I actually had the game won, but I forgot about Tentacus, and I thought, I'll go through Untamed and use my ritual, and that's I was on the lookout for that this time because I was like, I'm not doing that again. That was a big mistake. Yeah, but,
certainly.
That's why you practice a little bit, right? You get better because like me and you, even though we do a lot of commentating and stuff like that, it's way different from commentating than playing, and I think that I'm prone to make a lot of mistakes still because I'm so used to looking ahead and going, oh, this is what's going to happen, this is where I'm going, and I'm good at predicting and seeing paths and stuff like that, but a lot of times sometimes I play a card and right after I play it I go, oh, that was the wrong path. I don't have that patience, I guess, to slow down. But I don't know how that works with you with your commentating and stuff, how it affects your gameplay, but you seem to have played a lot more games competitively than I have. I played Magic for a while, but even then it was always at a lower level. It wasn't I was never trying to go world tour with that. So this is the
sure. Yeah, I love diving into the commentating because I have a 100% chance of having a great time if I'm commentating, and an 80% if I'm playing. But I do love playing and going around to the vault tours once we get those back at some point. I mean, I do like to do well. Like if I do well, then like I'm happy. I'm on cloud nine. That's great, right? Everybody loves winning.
Yeah.
But honestly, the experience of the community and just getting to know the game better. Like the more I play competitively, even if I'm not winning, the more I can play competitively, the more experiences I have to draw on in my commentating. The more of these amazing people, I've met in person, so I can make those connections, tell some great stories for the Keyforge community as we watch it happen online. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
So a couple last plugs, right? First off is you heard about our December 5th event. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, is that the KFPL like monthly
Yeah,
tournament?
every first month Saturday
Yeah,
we're running a $10 entry fee tournament where we're doing a cash payout because people have been interested in cash payouts. So what we do is we give 80% of the cash prize back to the prize pool, right? And then 20% for like paying the fees to send out the prizes and any a little bit of it, and then the rest of it goes right into the season pool for the next season. So like there's zero profit on our part, right? But this month we have partnered up with people in different teams, list to come like when we actually do the stream, that are going to match every entrant. And right now we're at a 10 for 10 match. So for every entry
that's awesome.
that pays $10 to play in our event and still gets to win the cash and do all the things as normal, they're also getting a charitable donation of $10 being given to Doctors Without Borders, the COVID unit, the COVID part of it, because we basically decided that COVID is the biggest enemy of Keyforge and all the people out there right now, and we're hoping that Keyforge is helping people stay mentally stimulated, and basically not getting caught up in the mental stress that goes with being isolated. So we thought that would be a great idea, and so here we are, and we found people matching 10 for 10 right now. I think on December 5th we'll have the link open for people if they wanted to just donate. Anything that is donated during the event will go directly into that donation as well. But like right now we're hoping to hit 100 people because that would be $1,000 that we could donate to Doctors Without Borders. And I know that's not a huge chunk of change, but it's still something, and I think that means a lot to us. Also, last month we gave away one spot to season 2 of the KFPL. Well, for this month, we've upped it to 4. So the top 4 people in the tournament. This is breaking news, Zach. This is the first time I've vocally said it.
I love it.
We're pushing it out to 4 people, so 4 people can qualify for the next season of the KFPL, which as of right now we are in the top 16 in playing. So by the end of this weekend, we'll be down to top 8. So keep you posted on the YouTube for that and all. But now that I've plugged all my stuff and any information you want, you can go to the website that's linked right here at the bottom of my thing, the Crazy Killing Machine Network.co.uk. The Crazy Killing Machine guys do an awesome job of keeping the website looking fresh. So if you haven't been there, go check it out. It gives you links to all our media and stuff. But Zach, you have stuff that you do as well, right? I mean, I don't want to call out the discovery of this and all that, but why don't you plug your stuff so people can get a good listen in? Because I know your stuff is top notch as well with Ed.
Oh, thank you. Well, the first thing I will plug is the fact that you all are running that. I mean, what you just plugged, a tournament that is raising money for Doctors Without Borders. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there has been another Keyforge event with a charity component where it was like, sign up, we'll give more money to this organization. So I just wanted to shout that out here. That is awesome, and I love seeing that in Keyforge, especially during this time. That is great. But yes, I am on a Call of Discovery, a Keyforge podcast, where we get excited about Keyforge, its community, and the excitement of discovery. I pretend to not be competitive on there, even though I do enjoy it. I'm there with Ed Pocock. Our latest episode was about the Keyforge role-playing game supplement book for the Genesis role-playing system. So go check that out. We've got interviews with Brad Andres when he was lead designer. We've got an interview with Danny Schaefer, the current lead designer. We may have someone on relatively soon who may have worked on a little website called dexofkeyforge.com as a little tease for early December. So yeah, definitely check us out.
Dexa Keyforge is an amazing tool and an asset. It's not all in, like it's not all in, like I've said that millions of times, but it is definitely lots of data. And what you do with data in statistics is really like on you and how good you are at determining the values that you find. But I will say that just because it's a high SAS number doesn't make it a great deck, but it does mean it has a lot of good components. So with that said,
Yes.
this is Chronicle number one. Like this is my first entry into this ABR league that I'm playing in. I hope to get to do this with all my opponents, but some may or may not jump on and stuff. But I'm going to continue to do this so that people can see and understand the game and the love of the game. Again, thank you, Zach, for volunteering to help me out with this and to actually come on and
Oh, of
talk.
course.
The games were awesome. I had a great time, and I'm very excited for the league, and I hope this continues and stuff. And I did eat a ton more popcorn in game 2 and 3, and I really think that's why I won.
I'll have to try that. Make sure I fix that for my next round here
Yeah.
in the ABR League.
Just kidding. Well, thank you so much again for your time, and thank you guys for tuning into this episode 1, Chronicle 1 of the ABR. And Zach, would you like to say goodbye?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining. Definitely keep following Jupiter in this, and maybe you'll see me again, depending on how parents go.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see each other in the finals or whatever they do. I don't even know. I just play. Z points me in the direction and I fight like a good dog. But thank you guys for everything, because the Keyforge community is what makes this all happen. So we are the sustaining force for Keyforge. We don't expect to grow during COVID because that would be pretty hard, but we want to make sure that things stay moving and forging. So whatever you do, don't give up on Keyforge. Keep playing, enjoy it. If you're not having a good time, look up me or Zach. We'll play with you and make it fun. Promise.
That's true. That's true.
So we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again for tuning in.